After 2 years of avoiding Miss Rona, she finally got me. I was out for a solid 10 days. And during my quarantine, I watched a lot of television and a lot of movies. I'm gonna share everything I watched with all of you. Also, stay tuned for the most embarrassing thing I watched during quarantine. I watched some embarrassing things, but there wasn't one that really stuck out. And I'm gonna do this video solo today because my husband has to go to work. I love you.
I love
Have a great show, Moulin Rouge.
Thank you.
Bye, have a good time. Bye. I may be flying solo today, but let's dive into all the fun things I watched. On the scale of like dramatic to fun comedy, I watched a lot of different things on that scale. Starting with one of the first ones. Clay and I actually watched this one together. We watched the Disney Plus film, Better Nate Than Ever. We talked about it in one of our recent vlogs of our favorite things because I love the book series so much. I actually got to fly back from Hamilton to go to the premiere with Clay a couple weeks ago, back before I had COVID, and the premiere was so magical, right in the middle of New York City, right in the middle of Times Square. And the first thing I wanted to watch whenever I was hit with this COVID bug, I just wanted to watch something happy and joyful. And I returned for a second visit to the wonderful world of Better Nate Than Ever. Check it out on Disney Plus. It is a magical, beautiful musical film all about Broadway and packed with so many of my Broadway friends. Pretty cool. Clay and I also had a movie night and we watched the new Disney film Turning Red. And we had heard some like crazy different things about it and we fully loved it. It was so exciting and adventurous, and it was a cool coming of age story. Something that was relatable to everybody, I think. I think everyone goes through that journey when they are, 13 or 14 or whatever, and kind of feeling like you're becoming your own person, but you're still under your parents' roof. That tension that everyone, or at least a lot of people experience. We had so much fun. The animation's gorgeous, the comedy's great, the music's awesome. It got a little weird towards the end with like this big action sequence, but we just love the gist of the movie and it was such a good time. So Turning Red, also on Disney Plus. Shifting gears a little bit, this next one is really dramatic and I love the dramas. Clay, not so much. So this one I watched on my own. I watched the Hulu series about Elizabeth Holmes called The Dropout. It was so intense, so good, and I watched the entire series. Yes, every single episode. I watched all the episodes, bam, 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 and then it was like a week until the finale, was able to be streamed on Hulu. I loved it, and at first I don't know a lot about Elizabeth Holmes, or I didn't at least, and I was like, why is Amanda Seyfried talking in this like weird, deep voice? And then you watch an interview with the real life Elizabeth Holmes. Oh my gosh, Amanda Seyfried is brilliant. She totally channeled that and was amazing. In the same genre-ish, if you will, where they're taking a real-life subject and a real-life situation and bringing it to life through a drama series, I've loved the American Crime series by Ryan Murphy. It's like every year or so he releases a new season of it, and the most recent season is called The Impeachment, and it is about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, and that happened like early on in my childhood where I don't really have any memory of it. I'm like almost all the way through right now. I found out that the most recent season is now on Hulu, and I have been watching that and I love it. Beanie Feldstein is amazing, and the whole cast is brilliant. That's also for the adult viewers, but I freaking love it. It's so captivating and similar to The Dropout where it's like, about real life and the intensity is so high, but holy cow, just to see more than just like the tabloid names, to see maybe the drama that happened behind the scenes is so incredible, and the whole cast is amazing. When I needed to keep it light, I definitely stuck on a couple fun films from my childhood, if you will. I stuck on Aristocats. I think that was like day 1 or day 2. Stuck on Aristocats, and I just like bundled up on this couch where I was for like the last many days. It's very dated in a lot of ways. The animation is so gorgeous and the music's so catchy, and it's just a feel-good story about, finding your way home, and that was a fun one. So it was fun to revisit that because I hadn't watched it in like well over a decade. Clay and I watched this next one together. The funny thing is, Clay used to loathe the show. He'd roll his eyes and he didn't get why I was into it. And then one day I came home from like Pretty Woman or something when I was in that show on Broadway, and he was on the couch watching it. I was like, shut up, you like it! And now it's his favorite show. We watched an entire season, or as they call it in the UK, an entire series of The Great British Bake Off. I had not watched the most recent season that aired in 2021 because it happened when I was relearning Hamilton and going back on tour. And oh my gosh, it was such a good season. I want to say it's one of my favorite seasons so far. I told Clay, I'm very committed to my husband Clay, but if Chigs, one of the bakers, came around, I'm just letting you know that we'd have a problem because Chigs is pretty great. Chigs is gorgeous, he's my celebrity crush. I was like, him, Tom Holland, I just can't get enough of. Oh, Shakes is so cute. Anyway, I digress. But Clay and I watched the entire season of that, and they're hour-long episodes, so they take a while, and it's crazy. I cried when certain people got eliminated, and it's like just a TV show, but these people seem like such kind, wonderful people, And it's such a good spirited show, and it's about, you know, loving your craft and also having good energy in the tent, and that's something I think the world needs more of, is you know, pursuing your goal and also supporting other people around you and being a good person. So, feel good show. If you haven't watched The Great British Bake Off, definitely check it out. And if you see Chigs, tell him I'd say hey. We just got back from our P.O. box and we got a really sweet letter from Arthur, as well as these 2 Palm Springs t-shirts. We got married in Palm Springs.
I'm obsessed with those.
It's one of our favorite places. We have to find out which one is, who's gonna get which one. Thank you, Arthur.
We got these awesome candles from Walter and Rosie. We're not sure who sent them, but they smell really good. They're like,
Are they from Walter and Rosie?
maybe. So they're pixie dust, foolish mortal, so cute. And then this is my favorite, breakfast with the mouse.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
The O of the mouse is a little waffle.
Aww.
It smells like sugar and maple syrup.
Thank you so much to whoever sent us this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
On the road, I teach a lot of master classes at different high schools and things like that. And Centerville High School, where I taught, sent me this huge thank you card with all these personalized messages, and it's so sweet. So thank you so much to Centerville High School and all the amazing students there. We're so excited with this one. Our pal Sherry sent us 3 very special books. They're written by our friend Andy Miantis.
Yay,
it's
Andy.
The Backstagers, book 1, 2, and 3. I'm so excited to read them because I haven't read them yet. Sorry, Andy. And she also passed along 2 Amazon gift cards, so thank you so much. We appreciate this so much. Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you.
If you're liking this video, please click the like and subscribe button. We have new videos coming out every week. Okay, so we just watched this other new show on Netflix. Clay and I watched this one together called Is It Cake? You know, probably a year or 2 ago, all those videos went viral of people like walking up to a couch and cutting it down, and it was a full couch made out of cake. Maybe not a full couch, but it'd be like a pot in the kitchen. They'd cut it down, and it would be you think it was a pot that you'd bake something in, but turns out it's a cake. Or I saw someone cut a computer that was actually cake. And now Netflix made a whole show of it. It's called Is It Cake? Simple as that. It's called Is It Cake? It's a full reality show. It's a little like cheesy, if you will, but it's like feel good, fun, and Clay and I would play along with it. They'd have to look at like 5 different things you'd find at a shopping mall, and you'd have to pick which one is cake, and Clay and I would be like, we think it's number 2, we think it's number 2, oh, it's number 3, we'll look at the texture of number 1. So we played along, and that was a fun one. I didn't have that much energy, obviously, when I was like, it's number 3. But it was a fun way to pass the time as I was waiting to feel better. So check out Is It Cake on Netflix. My buddy Colton is on this new show called The Girl from Plainville on Hulu. It's also a drama, definitely for more adult audiences. And I think there's only 4 episodes out right now. High intensity drama about a really, really serious subject matter. So if you're in the mood for like a kind of psychological mystery, high tense moments, definitely check out The Girl from Plainville on Hulu, starring my buddy Colton. I also was randomly thinking, whatever happened to that Lion King movie? They made like a live action. It's not live action because it's still computer animation, but they made a like more realistic looking Lion King remake a couple years back. I think it was 2019 with Beyonce and all-star cast. And I hadn't seen it since the theaters. Well, I saw it in theaters, and then I saw it on the Disney Cruise Line when Clay and I went with our friend Steven on a cruise. We watched that movie on the ship. And I was like, whatever happened to that? So I rewatched that, and the animation is just gorgeous. It's so hard to believe that like everything in that movie is computerized. Like none of it's actually real because it looks so realistic, and it's so cool to see these animals have like human characteristics. The animators did a great job, and it's a beautiful version of that story. So I got to rewatch that, and that was really nice. Hang tight, we're almost to that embarrassing one. So at night, whenever Clay would go to his show, I would have, the house to myself. That means I could really watch whatever I wanted, whether it was the dramas that Clay doesn't usually care for, or shows that are like reality TV-ish. He likes some genres like the Is It Cake, but I like Shark Tank. I like Shark Tank a lot. I love the inventions, I love the creativity. Sometimes that reality TV aspect of all the sharks, arguing, it's like kind of an eye roll. But I love the creativity that people bring in, and I love the success stories when they walk out with a deal with the shark and they know that they're gonna take their business and their dream to the next level. So I got to catch up on some Shark Tank episodes, and there were a few new ones that I had not watched, so I got to stream those like after they aired on Hulu, so that was great. One of my favorite TV series back when I was in college was 30 Rock. So I started rewatching that series, and I'm like halfway through season 1. I watched a lot of episodes, but 30 Rock is just such a great show. For some like quick one-liners, Tina Fey's comedy is so brilliant. It's so interesting to evaluate the comedy of like what was funny, 10 years ago and what's funny now. There's definitely some things I'm like, oh, will that comedy fly right now? But overall, the show, at least the episodes I watched, were really, really funny. We also watched parts of Encanto, parts of High School Musical 3, some episodes of High School Musical, the musical, the series. But no, that's not the embarrassing one. The most embarrassing one I watched, go with me here, was Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. And no, it wasn't the first time I watched it. Just go with me here. It was a direct-to-video sequel. Cinderella 3, obviously it didn't get like a theatrical release. It's a totally different genre of film. It's not a fairy tale situation at all. But it starts with like this, one of the stepsisters is stealing the fairy godmother's magic wand, and they like bippity boppity boo back in time, and they like take away Cinderella's moment where she like tries on the slipper, and with the magic wand they make the slipper fit the stepsister. And it's this whole like action sci-fi thriller where Cinderella has to like be a total rock star and kick some butt and like fight to get her prince back. It's cool because it's really empowering for, you know, the female character, whereas the original film, she's kind of like, everything happens to me and there's love and I'm waiting for a prince to rescue me. And she has to take the action, but it's also like a totally bizarre film, but it's a fun one, and I've watched it after a couple drinks a couple times in my life, and I definitely watched that. So that was my most embarrassing quarantine watch. Thanks for watching my quarantine watch list. That's it. Go make this world a better place, and we'll see you real soon. Or I will see you real soon, and I'll see you real soon with Clay as well. Bye, everybody.